Hello, this is Gail Nettles with Beaded Jewelry Diva. Today we're going to make this lovely bracelet. It uses spacer bars. So I thought these were kind of cool. I picked them up probably at Joann's, and I just thought it looked so neat that I had to make a bracelet out of it. And you can see it has kind of a bow effect. It goes in and out. Some really nice look to it. It's very easy to make. It only takes about, maybe 15 minutes or so, and then you'll have a bracelet to wear out. So let's go ahead and see what we need to make this bracelet and then go ahead and make the bracelet. Here are the supplies that you're going to need for this. I have a clasp. This is a tube clasp with 2 strands. I have 4 jump rings. I have 4 tube crimp beads. I have 3 8x5mm crystals. I have 16 6x4mm crystals. 12 3x4mm crystals. I have 16 8mm pearls, glass pearls. I have 4 spacer bars. These are dual spacer bars, so one set at the top, one set at the bottom. I have a pair of cutters to cut my beading wire, and here's the beading wire. It's 0.018 millimeters. This is about a medium weight. I have a pair of crimping pliers, 2 pairs of regular pliers for attaching the jump rings, and a couple of these little bead stoppers to use. So, that being the case, we'll get started making this bracelet. I started off by cutting 2 lengths of the beading wire, approximately a foot long each. I have gone ahead and attached the jump rings to the clasp, and I also went ahead and started by attaching one of the beading wires to a jump ring. I'll show you how I do it with the other one. I take the beading wire, put on a crimp tube, go ahead and put it through the loop of the jump ring, then feed the beading wire back down through the crimp bead. Okay, and what I usually end up doing a little bit is tightening it up with the pliers, just pulling slightly to just go ahead and get a little bit more tension until they're both about equal. Let's see, need to pull this one just a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So I've got that on, and what I'm going to do now is take my crimping pliers and go ahead and crimp the bead. So squish 1, squish 2, and I do have a video on how to use the crimping pliers and crimping tools. So if you don't know how to do that, check out that video. Okay, so here's where I am. I have the jump rings attached, and then I have my 2 pieces of beading wire attached to the jump rings. Now we're going to go ahead and start stringing on some of the beads. Okay, here's my pattern. I'm going to take either one of the beading wires, doesn't really matter, and I'm going to string on the following. I'm going to string on one of the 6x4mm, one of the 8mm pearls, 1 part of the spacer bar. So I'm stringing it through the bottom because in my particular case that's how I have it set. I'm stringing through the bottom. I will then go ahead and put on another pearl. So this is the 8mm pearl, another one of the 6x4mm, and then a 3x4mm. So I've got that on. What I'm going to do is attach one of the stoppers so that my beads don't fall off, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same pattern to this second piece of wire. So I've got the 6x4 and a pearl. Now here comes the kind of a tricky part. You have to make sure to get your wire through the top edge of your spacer. Now sometimes it's way too easy to go ahead and twist them so that they go in the wrong direction, and like you end up with I don't know, one going down and the other being twisted. So just be real careful on this step to begin with, because once you get your first spacer on, the rest of them tend to be pretty easy. Now don't worry about this part right here where I've got the wire sticking out. I will take care of that before we're done. Okay, so let's get all those beads back. I need an 8mm. See if I can get that through. Try the other side. Pearls don't want to work with me today apparently. Well, let's try another one real quick. Okay, so we've got the pearl, we've got the 3x4 and, excuse me, the 4x6 and then the 3x4. So that's how it looks so far. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to go ahead and take both of these wires. So I'm going to take the stopper off. Take the end of both of these wires and put it through the big, I think it's the, what, 8x10? So you want to put them both through. So it's going to bow up some. And you have to wiggle it around a little bit. But this is what it's going to look like. It's going to bow up. Now on the other side, we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. We're going to put the 3x4s, the 4x6s, the pearls, then we're going to put another spacer. So in other words, we're kind of reversing what we did this time. I'm going to go ahead and put the stopper on one so that the beads do not fall out. And then the other one I'm going to work with. So the pattern is again the 3x4s, the 4x6, the 8mm, then you're going to have the first half of the spacer bar, and again remember to keep them in the right orientation. So there we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, and let me go ahead and do a few more of these and then I'll join you back again. Alright, I've gotten all the sequences done. So I have a total of 4 sequences with the spacer bars, and I have 3 of those 8x5mm middle ones. Now we've got this end that has all the wires sticking out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I take care of that now. I'm going to take a pair of pliers because pliers make this a whole lot easier, and I'm going to go ahead and put the wire through the first bead. So it's through the bead. Then I'm going to go ahead and put it through the pearl till it comes out the other side of the pearl. There we go. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it. So you want to be very, very careful when you do this that you don't get the main part of your wire. But let's see, my cutter does not want to work. I'm just not having any luck today, am I? There we go. Okay, so I've got that part and it sits all nice now, so I don't have to worry about stuff sticking out. I'm going to go ahead and do this other side and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've got both ends done, so they're all nice and even now. So what I've been doing is I've just been moving these beads up. So I'm taking some and I'm grabbing them and I'm moving them. So you can see I've got a bunch of wire here, and I'm just moving them bit by bit. And the reason I'm doing it this way is I don't want these ends to come popping out again. So just go ahead and move them up. And as you do, you just want to check to make sure that you don't have pieces of wire showing, that you've got all the beads snug up against each other. And being snug also helps to accentuate that bow effect. Okay, so I've got all the beads down to the end. And now I'm going to go ahead and put on the other part of the clasp. So one moment, let me get on one part and then I'll come back and show you the rest of it. Part of the clasp already put together, the bracelet on the clasp. Here's the other end. So I take my beading wire, put it through the crimp tube, put the crimp tube through the jump ring, and then the end of the wire back through the crimp tube, pull it up, or start pulling it up, and then what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to already start feeding this through the next bead, because on this end it's very definitely easier if you go ahead and do this ahead of time and not until after you've actually crimped it. So let's see. Let's see if I can get it through one more bead. No, can't on this end, and I found the same thing over on this side. So you see I've got some wire showing here, so I've got to snug these up some more. So what I do is just play with it some. I mean, you just have to do this with the crimp beads and the beading wire sometimes, and just pull it. Be careful that you don't pull the jump rings out of place, but you can just snuggle it. Okay, that looks about right, so I'm going to go ahead, take my crimping pliers, and I'm going to crimp. So that's one part of the crimp, and then the other part of the crimp. Alright, then I got another set of cutters because I wanted to use some that actually worked this time. Okay, cut the end of the wire. And there we go. We have, how about I turn it right side out instead of inside out. Here you go. Here is a wonderful bracelet. It's a lot of fun to make and it's very pretty to wear. It's something that people look at and go ooh and ah and think, oh my gosh, that's really hard to make, but it's very, very easy. You should be able to put this together in probably 10-15 minutes. And then just wear it out. Enjoy the compliments. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. This is Gail Nettles with Beaded Jewelry Diva. Stop by my website, beadedjewelrydiva.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you never miss a beading video. Have a wonderful day and see you later. Bye.